Hello, it's me, Philip. I don't normally go through skips. It's not one of my hobbies or pastimes, but I did find a big bag of joysticks and a couple of power supplies. There's an Atari joystick, quick shot joystick, and I don't know what this one. I had this one when I was younger. Got nice micro switches inside. Well, I'll have to look and find out what that one was called. I found an original 8-bit computer from the Spectrum Commodore days and a few other games for another console, which we'll have a look at now. I'll just swap cameras and we'll see what treasures I found yesterday. So come on. I was at work yesterday as a removal man. We were moving some customers into a relative's house and there was a big skip outside. A colleague said you might be interested in what's in there, and I had a look and I came across an old Atari joystick, an old quick shot model number, it's a 318102, auto fire button on the back there. I'm sure the switches on these were just two pieces of metal that clipped together and they would break over time. But I remember as a kid licking these, sticking them to the desk, because there was a game, Daley Thompson's Decathlon, and you had to shake the joystick to make your character run as fast as you can, and they were just joystick killers really. They didn't last very long. This one is a Micro Pro. Couldn't remember the name earlier and I didn't see that, but this has got the micro switches inside and you can hear them clicking away. That was a great joystick. And then I came across a Sinclair ZX power supply. Now it's got no plug on, and the end of it, someone has butchered it. Good old Sellotape there. Sellotape is obviously well known for its electrical insulation properties. These are horrible. They come in handy, but they're horrible. An aerial, RF aerial. That's like that's our tape deck. Headphone to headphone, headphone jack to headphone jack, or microphone to microphone jack. And an unknown power supply from Loitron, whoever they are, LL3. Loitron seems to be a UK importer of electrical things. And then I came across a bag full of these. There was a carrier bag full of NES games and some NES manuals. I've got Time Lord, and the manual's in here somewhere. There's Super Mario. So I've got Super Mario 1, 2 and 3. There we are. The homeowner said these were in the loft and they've emptied the loft out into the skip. So Super Mario 2. They're all a bit dusty, but they're all in pretty good condition. Hook, Rygar, Life Force, Mega Man 2, Section Z, I've been watching too many Americans, Section Z, Robocop, Tetris, World Wrestling, Ninja Turtles. That one's got some damage to it. There's a hole in there, I never noticed that. California Games, and lastly Simon's Quest. I just realised that was a Castlevania 2. And in the bottom of the bag, the manuals. Some of these are ripped there, but the manuals are Life Force, Rygar, Ninja Turtles, Super Mario, Tetris, Mega Man 2, Simon's Quest, Hook, California Games, World Wrestling, Section Z, Time Lord, and Nintendo Entertainment System instruction booklet. Has a bit of purple staining from a felt tip pen, no doubt. Pretty nice condition otherwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 NES games. Sadly, there's no NES. I don't know what they did with the NES, but it's not in the skip. But I did find 2 NES controllers. These are the original ones, so hopefully they work. They're not in too bad condition. 2 of them. And then I came across the computer, the Spectrum 48K. This was my first computer assembled in Portugal. So I'm quite pleased to have this. I'm going to plug it in at some point and we'll do a test to see if it works, because I've got the power supply and I've got a game. The Spectrum doesn't have a joystick port, but luckily I found this. The joystick adapter. There's something rattling around inside of it, which is never a good sign, so I might have to open that up. It looks like a bit of muck actually. It's like one of them puzzle games. There, it's out. It's just a bit of muck out the loft. So that plugs into the back of there and the joystick plugs into the top. And then I came across this, and it's full of Spectrum games. Euro Racer, The Joystick Killer, Daley Thompson's Decathlon, Scrabble, Cassette 50 fantastic games on one cassette. If you had an old computer and you had to load games from a tape, you would have to write down the tape counter number for when the games actually started, so you could fast forward to the tape counter number to get your game. I'm not going to read them all out. Pause the video if you want to sit and go through them. We used to buy 15 minute cassettes, and we used to hire the games from the local video store, TV shopper, and we used to take them home and copy them. Manic Miner. Oh, someone scribbled out Manic Miner. Manic Miner was one of my first games I played on the Spectrum 48K. It was fantastic. Universal Hero. Outrun was huge in the arcades. The Spectrum ones here, the Spectrum was very poor at colour compared to what's that one? Can't read it, it's too small. It's probably Commodore Amstrad, ST, Atari ST, Commodore 64, Amstrad, and the Spectrum. Outrun was a great game. Star Wars. Star Wars always looked great because the graphics were just so basic. I remember going to the arcade. You could sit inside the machine and pilot your X-Wing, and the graphics looked the same. Tapes in there, I think. Yes, it is. California Games with the instructions. What's that one? Spectrum 48K. I don't think they're Spectrum 48K graphics. Screenshots from Commodore 64 128 version. And I think that just goes to show you how poor the graphics were colour-wise, because that probably would have all been in black and white on the Spectrum. What else have I got? We've got another Daley Thompson's Decathlon. Ghostbusters. That rings a bell. 500. Did you have to buy things with money? I think you had to catch ghosts and buy things with the money. I'm not sure. What's that one? Invincible Island. Never heard of it. Oops. What's that? Trans Am. Don't think I heard of that one. Rommel's Revenge. 48K. Bite. Never heard of that one. Conflict Command. Green Beret. Green Beret was good. I remember that one. And I remember The Great Escape. Got the instruction manual in the game. Brilliant. Marble Madness. That was very popular. Marble Madness. They've all got the games in, which I'm surprised at. Hixt and Mathst. Games for Girls. I have no idea what this is. She looks like she's on a horse. Jasper. I've got a vague memory of Jasper. Custom loader does not display striped border. Pool, Jetpack and Harrier Attack. Horace and the Spiders and Pitman 7. Danday 2. Danday was quite a good game. Pedro. I've not heard of that one. There will be no siesta for Pedro. He's a busy gardener south of the border. Stagecoach. Side 1, Horace Goes Skiing. Side 2, Copy and Tape. That's on there. Dizzy Fast Food and Fast Food. That was the 15-minute tapes. They were just long enough to hold a game or two if you were lucky. You'd copy your first game, and then you'd put your second game on, and the tape would run out just before the second game was loaded onto it. And you'd have to start again on a new tape. Match point and nothing. So that's it for Spectrum Games, and I think that's all I found. I was a bit disappointed there was no NES. I don't know why I'm putting them back in here. There's no need to. How did all of these tapes go in there? I'm not even going to bother trying to put them back in. Right, so that's it for the tapes. So do I quickly see if this switches on? I'm tempted. No. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. There's no plug on here. I'm going to leave it for another video. So all in all, I found 15 NES games and unknown working Spectrum with games and a few joysticks. So that was a lovely surprise for the day. You go to work, you don't expect to find stuff like that. I had one of these, and then I went from the Spectrum 48K to a Commodore 64, and then my next computer was an Amiga 1200. I put a hard drive in it because I remember swapping all the workbench discs over, so I put a hard drive in my Amiga 1200, and then I bought a graphics accelerator card for the bottom of it. It was a great machine, but I've got a bit of a soft spot for the ZX Spectrum here. It was the first one I ever had. It'll be interesting to see if this one springs to life, but we'll keep that for a next video. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give us a like, and I will see you hopefully with this in the next one. Thank you again for watching.